The following is a paid program. Talk 103.7 WTIP and Cable Channel 7 welcome you into Financially Speaking with Jim Taunton. Find us live on radio, TV, the IPX Media app, and on YouTube. Just search Financially Speaking NC or get the link at WTIPFM.com. The opinions expressed in this show are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities and investment advisory services are offered through Genoa Wealth Management Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Now, here's your host for Financially Speaking, certified financial advisor, Jim Taunton.
Hello and welcome to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here. And this is different. Never done this in my 31 years of doing Financially Speaking. I have given you a replay the last 2 weeks. I just didn't feel like you should hear a replay again this week, so I needed to do something live, but I have an economic symposium at East Carolina University tonight, and we had a conflict. So I've got to do this show from the car. I'm actually parked in the parking deck on campus at East Carolina University as we speak. So as soon as I get through the show, I'm going to run into the Student Center and listen to an economic symposium, and looking forward to it actually. So we'll just have to make do with what we have. But I apologize for the quality. Maybe you can understand what I'm saying, and if we have a caller, I'm hoping things will work out okay. We'll see. But I used to go to the economic symposium produced by the economics department at ECU every year, and it was first created by Randy Parker, and Randy was one of my favorite guests I have on the show, have had on the show. He was very knowledgeable, very well spoken, jovial, humorous, and basically I could say, "Hey Randy, how you doing?" and shut up for the rest of the program. It was a wonderful thing. But Randy passed away a few years ago with pancreatic cancer, much to our chagrin. And he passed away actually just weeks after the last economic symposium that ECU conducted and that he spearheaded. So I just felt like I needed to be here at this one for sure. Have a great speaker from the Fed lined up this evening. So hopefully I'll learn something that I'll share with you next week. So I'm doing this for you. Just think of it that way. So we'll see. But you still can call me tonight, and we'll see if it works okay. So the number here is 561-TALK, 561-8255. And if you call in with a question, your name goes into the drawing for the dinner for two at Ottavola. And I'll tell you, I've had more people in the last couple of months call my office wanting to meet with me because they have heard me do this program, and I guess they like what I say or how I say it, or a combination of the two. And it's been interesting. I saw a gentleman today who came in per the program. So call me with a question, and I'll try to answer it, and your name will go into the drawing there for the dinner for two at Ottavola, and I'll even pay the tip. And let's go to about a 2-minute break. Call during the break. We'll take your call first. When we come back, I'll talk to you in a couple of minutes.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
All right, Jim Taunton back with you. Thanks for holding through the break. And we have a caller, and Ryan has called in. Ryan, you're making history. First time I've ever spoken with a caller on the program. I was sitting in my car. Go right ahead with your question.
Yes, sir. My wife and I are looking to build a house in the near future. We've already got some funds set aside. I cashed in some stock that I had. And as it turns out, after paying capital gains and a different tax bracket that it put me in, I don't have the required amount of money to cover the estimated cost of the house. So I guess I'm looking to get your opinion on whether I have the ability to cash in more stock to cover the amount, or if you think it would be a better idea to get a mortgage on the remaining amount that would be owed.
Okay, give me some numbers. What's the cost of your building your house? How much money do you have presently?
Ballpark, it's, let's say, $850 to $950. Liquid cash, about $775 is what I have.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, I would have no qualms at all with procuring a mortgage for that amount presently, in lieu of selling off your stock positions. Now, I'm hoping that you had good stock positions, but I believe the stock market is going to be up between now and December 31st, and I believe it's going to be up in 2025. And if it is, it most assuredly would be up more than a mortgage would cost you. So you can always pay off a mortgage, but if you sell, you're going to pay the taxes, and you don't have the stock positions any longer, so you've lost your options. So, I mean, a year into this thing, if you decide, I just don't want a mortgage, then you can sell the stocks and pay off the mortgage. Just that simple.
Absolutely. Okay, perfect.
And you're deducting some interest. You know, there's a lot of positives to keeping your money invested and doing a small mortgage. That mortgage isn't going to hurt you. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Yeah, you're very young. You'll have that mortgage paid off in no time.
Okay, I would say maybe the only caveat to it is the house that we currently have. We owe 2 years on it. The mortgage payment's about $1,000 a month, so we're wanting to keep that as either a rental property or just to hold on to for either one of our kids in case they want it. So basically, in a sense, have two mortgages, you know, depending on whatever the interest rate, whatever the monthly payment comes out to on the new mortgage plus what we already have, which is still recommend basically consolidating that all into one.
Well, you said on the current house you still have a mortgage balance?
Correct.
$1,000 a month?
Yeah, so it'll basically be paid off in a little over 2 years.
Okay, and I dare say you have some accessible equity in that current house, because most banks will loan you up to 80% of fair market value without any questions in the form of an equity line. You could do that in lieu of procuring a second mortgage and already have the cash there available for you to help build your house. I do that all the time when buying things. I've got a $500,000 equity line that sits there usually with a zero balance, but sometimes I'll write a check, goes in the equity line, and then I can pay it back however I please. And it gives me a lot of options. a lot of flexibility. So I almost always advise clients to open the largest equity line they can based upon the fair market value of their home, and just let it sit there. I mean, if you don't use it, you don't pay for it. You don't pay any interest or anything like that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the insight.
Yes, sir. Thanks for calling. And where are you calling from?
It's here in Greenville.
Here in Greenville.
Yes, sir.
Well, I am in Greenville as well, sitting in a parking deck, waiting for an economic symposium. But thanks for calling. I appreciate that very much.
Absolutely. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye. Oh, man. Who knew that I would get a great call while sitting in a parking deck? It's just, life is funny sometimes. But you do what you got to do, right? And I've hosted this program, again, 31 years. I've just never done this. I actually did a remote, financially speaking, early on in the life of the program from San Francisco. I was on an investment conference in San Francisco and did the program from my motel room looking down on the street there in San Francisco. That was pretty interesting also. But anyway, let's see where we are. We got just a few minutes. So let me talk for a few minutes, and we'll go to a mid-program break. But do call with your question. I know when you call, it's something that's important and pertinent to you, and that's much better way of doing it than me monologuing about something I put together. So give me a call at 561-TALK, 561-8255. And if you call in with your question, again, you go into the drawing for the dinner for two at Tavola. I'll even pay the tip, and it is a great place to eat. All right, let me talk just a smidge about NVIDIA. I know you're probably sick of hearing about it on the financial media, but I brought NVIDIA to you, was it 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago? Yeah, I bought it myself personally, and I just mentioned it to you, and man, it has just been gangbusters. And now people are beginning to waver a little bit. You know, I've had Peter Anderson on this program 2 or 3 times, and he manages a portfolio that I place in clients' advisory accounts and has done exceedingly well. Actually has the best performance of any of the managers I utilize on the platform. So he's done extremely well. He manages a very small portfolio of 10 to 12 stocks. And he was high on NVIDIA also. First time I had him on, we both talked about NVIDIA and AI and what have you. It's kind of soured for him. He actually sold most of it, not all of it, but most of his position in NVIDIA. He thinks that the AI phenom is kind of long in tooth. But just today on CNBC, and I actually sent Peter the link to this interview, Druckenmiller, I forget his first name, might be Paul, but Druckenmiller, who's one of the most respected money managers in the business and has been for years. I mean, this guy is a phenom. You know, he's just maybe one notch below Buffett. But he was saying that he owned NVIDIA also and had it run out, it tripled in value, and he sold it. And he says he has shot himself in the foot, basically. He sold it, and it went up another, 50, 60% from the time he sold it. And he regrets selling NVIDIA at this time. And he said he's made a lot of mistakes in his career, made a lot of bad investment decisions over his career. And that was definitely right up there with one of the bigger ones. So, you know, I'm almost to the point of lowering my exposure to NVIDIA, and then I hear things like that, and it's just a lot of conflict out there about AI at this point. So, you know, we'll see what happens with that. I wanted to talk a little bit about RMDs again today because we're coming to the end of the year, and it's extremely important, very important topic. And I am going to talk about RMDs first when we come back from the break, but we're probably about mid-program. So let's go to a 2-minute break. Call me during the break, 561-TALK, 561-8255. Call me with your question, financially related, and I'll put you in the drawing for the dinner for $2 Tavola. I even pay the tip. We'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
All right, welcome back to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here, sitting in my car in a parking deck. And I hear we have Jim Ward on the line.
Hello,
Jim,
sir.
go right ahead with your question. Hey.
Is this live? Okay.
It
my
is
question is
live. That's
okay. So there have been some a lot of talk. I'm an engineer by training. Been a lot of talk about nuclear power, and I made a small dabble of an investment in one of the packaged, compact nuclear designs, nuclear power systems, and it kind of got quiet. And I think I'm trying to remember, but I may have sold it. But my question is, there's been more and more noise about the extraordinary amount of power required to support the AI world, and nuclear power is much more reliable, fairly safe, et cetera, than some of the other options. And I'm just wondering if you think that would be a good investment to make in that part of the market.
I believe it would if AI turns out to be what people think it will be. And what you just talked about is one of the reasons why Peter Anderson is soured on AI a little bit. He just hears about companies cranking up nuclear reactors. And of course, it takes, 10 years for a reactor. Now, you're probably talking about the portable type nuclear deals, but it takes a long time to come online. But for people to make that kind of monetary and time commitment to something just to create the power to generate.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life.
All right, we're back on, Mr. Producer.
Yeah, I'm here. This is Jim.
Oh, hey, Jim. Yeah, what
Yeah.
happened? Somebody tried to call me. I'm on my cell phone doing this program. Somebody tried to call me and it knocked me off. So,
Okay, I
yeah,
lost you. Yeah.
I think nuclear energy has to be a large part of energy going forward for us to meet
I
the
do too.
requirements without using so much fossil fuel. Uh, and the jury to me is still out on whether fossil fuel has done what the green side of the equation has said it's done. But yeah, I think an investment in nuclear long term would certainly not be a bad investment, in my
Well,
opinion.
I don't. Yeah, I agree. You know, there's a lot of pluses. There's a lot of fear with Chernobyl, 3 Mile Island, da da da. But for sustainable, consistent power at night, et cetera, if they figure out a way to do this without it being so difficult to do these designs. I'm a big believer in the package boiler kind of concept, where you develop and design a system, and then you take that and say, okay, have a foundation, have a setup on where you're going to put it in a way that we just bring it in. You build the foundation and the available connections in this way, and we bring this in and we install it. We don't do everything from scratch, and I think that will make it way more competitive, faster, and they'll continue to improve the designs, and they find something that we can do, they invest the money and make it better. But
exactly.
AI has certainly given it a big push. There's a company called SMR, I think is the name, that has done a lot of this, and I don't know, I just kind of think that would be, but then, I'm too old to risk a lot of money because I don't have time to make it up if it doesn't work out. So you know how that deal goes. So
right, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah,
thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it.
Hey Jim, one of the reasons I've liked NVIDIA, it's reminds me of the gold rush. Ultimately, the people that made the most money in the gold rush were the companies that made the picks and shovels.
That's right.
And mules and things like that. It wasn't the gold miners or the processors of gold and that kind of thing. And that's where NVIDIA is. NVIDIA makes the picks and shovels.
Yeah, right.
So,
right. And the guys that sell the potatoes too will do well. Somebody's got to eat.
You're right. Jim, thanks for calling. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I enjoy your show, by the way.
Thank you. Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Take care. Bye-bye. All right. Another great caller. Man, we're getting close to the end of the program, which is a wonderful thing. I can go into my economics seminar. All right. RMDs. I told you I was going to talk about that. And I've talked about it on the program a couple of times, and I need to talk about it again to remind you that required minimum distributions need to be taken before the end of the year. And actually, most firms, you need to start it probably 3 weeks before the end of December at least, for them to be able to process it. And the reason it's so important is because the penalty from the IRS if you don't make the withdrawal is 50%. So if your RMD this year from your IRA was $20,000, you didn't take it, you're going to have to take it, plus they're going to charge you a $10,000 penalty on top of that. So that's not a good thing. Now, if you're our client, you're in luck because we automatically calculate RMDs every year. We automatically give you notifications and we automatically send the money out. And you don't have to worry about that. But I know some firms don't do that, and the client has to instigate the processing of the RMD. So if you have, if you start RMDs or you've been on RMD schedule so far, you've already started it, you need to contact your person and have them process that RMD beginning of the end of the year. So that's really very important as far as your financial planning is concerned. All right, capital gains tax rate. Last time I did a program live, I talked about the difference between the two candidates' proposals economically and financially, and I didn't get into the social issues at all. and military issues and things like that. That's not my forte, so I didn't get into that. I talked about the financial economic side of the equation as far as their platforms were concerned. And one of the things I mentioned is capital gains tax rate. Now, I tell clients, don't let emotions and don't let your politics change your long-term investment strategy. And I told prospective client today that. And we have a tendency to do that. If our person doesn't get elected, we get scared and we sell off and ends up not being that bad, and we shot ourselves in the foot. Don't change your long-term investment strategy, except if Harris wins, there's a chance that we will have a substantially higher capital gains tax rate implemented. And that means for most people it would go from 15%, probably up to 28%. And if you have pent-up capital gains in your portfolio, positions you've held that have appreciated over the years, and you got a $200,000 gain, the difference between 15 and 28 is substantial. The problem is, even if the new tax rate were implemented at the end of 2025, there is a good chance that they will make it retroactive to the beginning of 2025. So if you waited until you heard the rumblings of an increase in capital gains rate before you sold off some positions to harvest some gains, it may be too late. The other side of the equation, the problem is in December, you just don't know who's going to win, or you know who's won, but you don't know what their status is, what they're going to actually do once they're in office. It's a tough situation, but I just want to make you aware of it. Talk to your financial advisor, talk it out, see what your financial advisor has to say, and if he just doesn't or she doesn't say anything, then give me a call. I'll be glad to chat with you. Let me give you some contact information for me if you want to sit down with me. First consultation with me is no cost or obligation to do anything at all. And number at the office is 756-4700, 756-4700. Of course, it's area 252. My email is jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. Last name is Taunton. Jim@jtauntonfinancial.com. My website is jtauntonfinancial.com, and you can go on there and find out more than you ever want to know about Jim, and also contact me through the website. There's an inquiry page. You can complete that, and it'll come to me by email. Love to chat with you, and if you want to converse by email, that's fine. We'll go back and forth, and I'll answer questions. And won't charge you a dime for it. Unlike CPAs and attorneys, it won't bill you. At this stage of my business, I don't need to make a dime off everything I do for people, and I enjoy answering questions, enjoy teaching. As you can tell, I've done this program, 31 years. I thought I'd do it a year and be off, but I enjoy teaching. I really do, and especially when people call in and ask questions that's pertinent to them, and there you go. So I love sitting down with people as well. So give me a call or an email, and let's chat. And I'm done, Mr. Producer, so you can start the music, and I've got to go to an economic symposium. Hopefully I'll be able to share with you some good information next week that I obtained at the symposium. We'll see you next week. This is Jim Taunton helping you make all of your financial decisions good ones. Good night, everybody.